All right, I do see that we have Coach Fobbs on, so we'll actually get started a few minutes early. I know Coach has some other media obligations today, so we definitely don't want to hold him. Good morning, Coach.
Morning.
Coach, as always, thank you so much for taking some time to join us. If you could, please, Coach, start us out with an opening statement about your team's most recent game versus the University of Houston.
Well, I tell you, it was good to get out and play, on last Saturday. Great venue, great environment, on Texas soil. University of Houston, does a really good job with their program.
Pass to Lindsay for the touchdown. I thought was beautifully.
Once again, we will ask, if you are not asking questions, if you would please mute your lines. And if you have any questions for our coaches, please utilize the raise your hand feature here to get your question in the queue. We'll now open it up for questions for Coach Fobbs. Coach, obviously a big weekend this game coming with Prairie and at the State Fair Classic. Could you preview your matchup versus the Panthers?
Well, I'll tell you, Coach Dooley and Prairie, they do a really good job. They've had our number, for the last 3 years. Have played really well in that ball game. We're still working, and we gotta make sure that we're ready to play this particular weekend because we know we're going to get that best shot.
Currently taking questions for Coach Fobbs.
Early in the season.
All right. Next first question goes to HBCU game day.
Hey, Coach Fobbs. Just a really quick question. When you guys get on the road in premium locations like Texas, you're playing the University of Houston, what type of opportunities do you have to recruit, if at all? Like, how does that work into your kind of workflow and your schedule for away games like that?
Well, everywhere we go, we always try to, send a coach, or if not one, two coaches to that particular area to basically go and evaluate and look at kids that are on our board, our recruiting. So it's huge, when you get an opportunity to go and play, in those areas, because not only do you get a chance to go and watch those student athletes perform, but you get an opportunity to put your product on the field as well, with the recruits coming to those football games. So it's definitely, important wherever we go, that we make sure that we go out and we visit, those kids and those programs to see those kids perform.
Okay, thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Currently taking questions, Coach Fobbs of Grambling State. Still taking questions for Coach Fobbs. Any final questions for Coach? Coach Fobbs, thank you so much, sir, for taking some time to join us. We look forward to speaking with you again next week.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, the time is now 10:10 Central. We are slightly ahead of our schedule, but we do have Coach Hill-Eley on the line with us, so we will go ahead and get started. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing great, Coach. As always, appreciate you taking some time to join us. Coach, obviously a bye week for your program coming off your game at Auburn. If you could just kind of recap your bye and talk to us a little bit about your upcoming opponent.
Just had an opportunity to really, catch up on academics, making sure guys are in the right classes, got full schedule loads, double duty in your training room for the guys injured. In practice, just really focus on fundamentals and techniques, being sound tacklers and efficient blockers and making sure guys go in the right place. So just mainly, correcting those things that's within the program that normally fall behind when you're in camp, and and just had a good week of recovery and reteaching.
Appreciate those comments, Coach. Coach, if you could talk to us a little bit about your upcoming opponent, Bethune-Cookman.
Again, a program that's led by a great guy, Coach Simmons. Had an opportunity to been coaching against this young man, great man, for over 10, 15 years, and you could see the what he's put into the program with the effort that these guys give. They play hard in all three phases. The record is definitely not indicative of the caliber team they have. They went into last Thursday game, and you look at that second half of how well they played themselves back into the game. Was able to take A&M high-powered offense and kind of slow it down, and they did a lot of good things. We know we got our work cut out for us with these guys coming in, and you just see a real good football team that's a welcome addition to the conference, and you could just see the discipline and everything that goes with that team. It's a contest that, that I've been a part of playing a Bethune-Cookman, and to be able to play them again is, it's just it'll be a great contest.
Now open up for questions for Coach Hill-Eley with Alabama State. Once again, if you do have any questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature. Our first question goes to Tally Carr with HBCU Game Day.
Hey, Coach, how are you, man?
Good morning. How you doing?
Good. I know nothing about coaching. I look at everything as a fan. And as a fan, if I'm rooting for Alabama State, I'm thinking, why does Bethune have to come in winless and be so close? It almost feels like they're due with the momentum that they've had. How do you approach a team that you have to face, and they're just like right on the edge?
You know what? It's hard because when you look at it and then you look at who they played and how well they played them. They played two FBS teams before they got to the champion. So these guys have played. It's not like they've played up all 3 weeks the way I look at it, and they played all three of those teams solid. To be able to take on our conference champions and play them down to the wire to the last play, it says a lot for where that program is talent-wise. Now, regardless of the record, as I tell the guys, we don't look at the wins and losses as football players. We look at those guys that's in the helmet, and they see that team speed. They see those guys, getting that pass rush and running, running routes and those kind of things. So we just try to refocus our guys that it's up, as you said, to the fans to look at the record. It's up to us to look at that game film to see that these guys are 1 or 2 plays from having being 3-0.
The last time I saw you guys, I feel like Bubba might have got dinged up in the game. How is he heading into this game?
Well, again, the surgery that he had didn't work out for him. So, Bubba won't be with us going forward. So, that's an unfortunate loss for us. So we got some major gaps to cover, with that situation. And, we just got to keep next man up. We got to keep fighting and holding the line.
Okay. Sorry, if you said that earlier and I missed it, I apologize.
No, I did not. I normally don't even, like I said, I know with the injury report, unless they ask, I don't normally go through it, but that's a good point going forward. So I appreciate you pulling that out.
Okay, good luck. I'll see you guys this weekend.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Doc.
What say that, Doc?
I'm good. Please take me into this matchup. Give me a little insight in terms of what are the expectations. Generally speaking, we know Bethune-Cookman is a very physical ball club. I know you expect for your team to be physical, but if we can concentrate what you want to do offensively against what they do defensively after we watch what took place between them and Alabama A&M, give us a little insight and some expectations of where are some things we should keep our eyes focused on in this matchup.
You know what? I think it's a big field position game when it comes to Bethune. Defensively, I think they're just as salty as we are on defense. When you look at everything, how they move around, how they get pressure up the field, They have some good players over there. Offensively, they're doing some good things, a lot of different formations. They're running the football. They got good balance with their run pass. And then special teams, it's about parallel. Coach Sims, I know he has a big hand in special teams and running the special teams. So you see a lot of the guys giving that effort on that special team. So it's when you look at the teams in all three phases, we kind of parallel and in all three phases. The biggest thing is the execution. I'm quite sure there's a couple plays when Coach Sims looked back at the offensive side. There's a couple plays that's been left out there and scoring points on the offense. We've had our same problems with that. But the defense and special teams is where I think the game is going to be decided this week. I think, as you look at the offensively, everybody's doing about the same. But when it comes down to who can create the field position and the turnovers to put their special teams in a position to get points and to be able to keep the game away from the other.
Thank you, Coach. Great insight.
No problem.
Currently taking questions for Coach Hill-Eley with Alabama State. Next question goes to Luke Williams.
Dr. Hill-Eley, good morning.
The Book of Luke. What's going on?
How you doing, man?
Good, my brother.
What do you take from having a team like Bethune play your rival Alabama A&M? Do you get more out of seeing them play somebody that you're very familiar with, or are you already familiar with the Bethune-Cookman and what they like to do?
Well, you know what? It's been a long time since we played. So, back in the day, I knew, the defensive coordinator, Yoga, he going to, find a way to match you up with the 4-2-5, bring pressure all kinds of ways and different things, but I hadn't seen them in a while. Some of the things, just like normal, is consistent. You're going to do what you do. And when you're good, you got to let the people beat it themselves. Offensively, it's new, just watching them on offense with the new offensive coordinator. But, again, watching them play A&M, and still heck go off the A&M there. You still got a team that when it started raining, I was kind of wondering how things would adjust for them, but you still got a quarterback threw for almost 300 yards in the rain. So, so that tells you that you had two great teams on that field that was making plays, and it was a great SWAC contest. It came down to who was the last team with the football. And again, it lets us know where Bethune is as a caliber team in this conference, that they at the up echelon when it comes to programs, that they're not coming in being no doormat. These guys are coming in and pressing as they did in the MEAC to be in the top contenders for the SWAC.
Well, were you was that your first look at the quarterback? I know the quarterback had a good game. The running back had a good game. They got a kickoff return for a touchdown. What did you think about those particularly the quarterback and the running back?
Those kind of guys Bethune has produced for over the years. Your Trotmans and Subas, Bethune, Coach White at that time, when I first came in, he was the head coach there. And those are the kind of guys that changed the Bethune-Cookman program around, are those skill position guys, being able to return kicks in the special teams, being able to have great, as they say, balanced quarterbacks that can throw and run as well as running back. So for me, it's a traditional Bethune-Cookman program, defense that bend but don't break, and great skill guys.
Excuse me, I didn't see Shannon particularly run the ball, which was a little different. You're right. Bethune has usually had the guy who was as adept at running the ball as throwing the ball. What did you think about how he performed in terms of throwing the ball? And I've said the same thing, that people have been focused so much on FAMU coming into this conference, but anybody that's been around the MEAC knows that Bethune-Cookman does not take a back seat to anyone.
Again, you got a quarterback that goes out, and the first thing I look for and when you have quarterbacks play in the storm is how do they manage the game in the storm. And that means from ball security has to be an extra focus on that. They weren't doing a bunch of turning the ball over, and they were still managing their offense in that storm. It wasn't like a bunch of overthrown balls or balls, that weren't exchanged. So that meant that coaching had translated over to the players that they could execute regardless of the weather. The weather wasn't an opponent. It wasn't a factor. That these guys played some good football on both from both teams.
So you're of the opinion, not surprising, that Bethune is going to be right there when it's all said and done.
All right, like I said, I hope they ain't right there this weekend. I mean, after that, we can put them what we want, but we got to find a way to win.
Good luck, Coach. Good luck, Doc.
Thank you, bro. All right, appreciate you, my man.
Any final questions for Coach Hill-Eley? Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. We look forward to speak with you again next week.
Hey, appreciate you all. Thank you. Now.
We now go to Prairie View A&M and head coach Dooley. I do see Coach Dooley on the Zoom with us. Good morning, Coach. Coach, I think you might be on mute there.
Yes, good morning to you guys.
Good morning, Coach. As always, thank you for taking some time to join us. Coach, if you could please start us out with an opening statement about your team's victory over Houston Baptist.
Well, I thought it was a good victory for us. I always look for victories when we're playing it outside of the conference. You want to be able to represent the Southwestern Athletic Conference. So I thought our guys got off to a fast start. But more importantly, I thought they played hard for 60 minutes. It was a good football game. It looked like it was going to be a shootout at the time, but my defense came up with a couple of big stops and gave us the opportunity to seal the game.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. We'll now open up for questions for Coach Dooley. Once again, if you do have any questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature. Our first question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Hey, Coach. Your quarterback, Juwan Pass, had another big game for you guys this past weekend. Just talk about his journey to Prairie View. He was a Division I transfer and just what he's meant to your ball club so far this season.
Well, I thought it was important that he came out because we had some, never like to look into the rearview mirror, but we had some turnovers prior to that ball game right there. So I thought it was very important that he came out and had some success. That's why I wanted to come out and throw the football immediately just to give him some success and have some confident throws. But I wasn't worried about it because I know how the young man prepared for it, but he's been a tremendous asset to our program right now. He fit in with the rest of the guys. He feel at home, and he's been a leader for us.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Good morning, Coach Dooley.
Good morning.
You up in Dallas for your
Yes,
media?
I am. Yes, I'm in a different area, so I had to improvise to make sure I get on this the call.
Well, I appreciate you doing that, Coach. Surf, Godspeed travel for you and those along with you. With that being said, I wanted to ask you about some of the big plays. You continue to get some big plays out of this offensive side of the ball. Can you talk a little bit about that? Not just Juwan Pass, but what your receivers are doing as well.
Yeah, I think, we had a group of young receivers, but also we brought in some veterans as well. So I think they're mixing together as the season go on. That was the third ball game for us. So those guys are starting to gel together right now. But it's still some things we have to work on. But it's been very exciting because having the big plays, of course, it always helps out to get your offense to a fast start. So we want to continue to do that. But also we want to be able to, keep that chemistry going regardless of whether it's big plays or not, because sometimes you can die by the big plays. We want to make sure that we can methodically drive down the field regardless of what the defense is giving us.
Let's switch to the defensive side of the ball. I know you had a lot of excitement of what you bring back on the defensive side of the ball, and this was a chance for them to really make a statement. Obviously, Houston Baptist jumped out with 21 points in the first quarter. But even before they did that, you had a couple of good third down stops. And then you look at what takes place in the second, third and fourth, you hold them to 2 field goals, one in the second, one in the third. The one before half was also a penalty in terms of putting them in the field goal range, or you would have stopped them there, it looked like. So defense is playing well. Can you talk about some of the key contributors on this side of the ball?
Yeah, Drake Cheatham played a great game for us on Saturday, and he's been a leader thus far. And then you got Jason Dooms, who's always going to play hard, but just the surrounding cast. We're talking about guys, Troy James, and we were able to get Dante Carter back this week here to play as well, so that helps out on the defensive line. But you talk about the linebacker play. Unfortunately, our linebacker was suspended for the first half for a targeting foul the game prior to that. Trashad Smith, but he came in immediately, and you can see the impact that he brought to the defense. So those guys are playing some exciting football. And then you talk about a Logan Jackson, a guy that's been through a whole lot, but to come out and just lay it on the line, that's what you look for. That's what you want to. That's what you call bleeding purple and gold. That young man came out and just laid it on the line. So defense been playing well together. Some things we still have to work on. Wasn't satisfied with the tackling. I thought what made it closer than what it should have been. A lot of missed tackles. So we'll correct that this week here and look forward for a challenging football game.
One follow-up question is moving into the matchup against you really done well in what I call trophy games, those classics where you literally get a trophy if you're able to get the victory. You've done that in the Classic. You had some success in State Fair Classic. I know you're the type of coach that looks forward, and the big trophy is one that you want at the end of the season. Can you tell us why you have this type of success in some of these, what a lot of people would call big rivalry type games?
Well, we don't, it's kind of hard for me to say. We don't look at the what type of game it is because it's a big game because it's the next game. We know that I've been saying all along, I'm a SWAC guy. The conference is very, very competitive. I know that. So week in and week out, you got to bring your A game if you want to be successful in this conference. So we know it, regardless of what team we play, we're going to have to be ready to play. And we got to make sure we have a great game plan and our guys be ready to play for 60 minutes. Because this conference right here, I tell you, it's very, very exciting. I'm glad to be a part of it. So we know we have to bring our A game every time we line up. It just so happened, sometimes in some of the big games, we'll play some of our better games. And I hope that continues.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Lou Williams.
Hi, Coach Dooley.
Good morning.
I'm really going to, this is Luke Williams from the Black Collar Sports page. I'm really trying to go back to that first question, which was how you got Jawan Pass, and then I have a follow-up about Grambling.
Okay, well, I think recruiting is all about relationships. You got to build relationships in Texas. You got to build relationships in Louisiana. You got to build relationships across the United States. And I think when you have great relationships and you continue to meet with guys and you sit down and you talk with individuals, I think that gives you a chance. I feel that we have a chance to get any guy that we go after, as long as we get a chance to build that relationship. And we started off, we knew that was a guy that we targeted right there. Once we saw that he was in the transfer portal, he was a guy that we did a lot of homework on, and we thought we had a chance to get him in. Through the relationships that we built throughout my coaching career and other coaches' career, gave us the opportunity to get him.
Yeah, and you like quarterbacks that can throw the ball around and put up big numbers. Is that why you would target him as a guy to go after, because of his skill set particularly? Well,
I think I joined the bunch. Everybody like quarterbacks that can put up big numbers and do some great things. I saw that he fit. When I look at a quarterback, I see if it's going to fit what we're doing. A lot of things, we do a lot of different things. And I don't have a problem with my system. Whatever my system requires, whatever the quarterback, his strengths are, that's what I'm going to utilize. I'm not going to say, well, he has to be able to do this here. No, I need that guy there. That guy can to manage the game. And I think he make great decisions. Then we're going to let him be a part of our program. So just the things that, the way his character and the way he carried himself, the things that he did on the field, the success he had in high school and college, I thought it made him become a great part of what we was trying to bring to Prairie.
Where is he from, Coach?
He's from Georgia.
Okay.
Right outside Atlanta, Georgia. Yes.
Okay. How many State Fair Classics have you been involved in?
All angles. I've been involved in a lot of different ways. So it's been a lot. It's double digits, I can tell you that.
And what would you say is your record in the State Fair Classic? That's what that's what Dr. Cavell didn't want to talk about, is how you've been so successful in the last few going up against where you were formerly employed. But what's your record like in the State Fair Classic?
Smart man, an answer that I cannot, a question that I cannot give an answer to. I don't know the numbers, not keeping it. I know the only one right now is important just to be 1-0. So that's the only thing that we're looking for. This one that's going to take place this weekend, September the 25th. That's what's so important to us. So we take it as it comes. Success. You got to be able to handle success and know that everything changes. It's a different season. I do know what they're going to bring to the table. I respect Coach Fobbs a lot, so I know that it's going to be a good football game.
That's my last question. What is it most importantly you have to prepare for in terms of this Grambling team?
Well, they're going to run the football. There's no question about that. They're going to come down here. That's who Coach Fobbs is, and I know that's what he want those guys to do. But when I take a look at their defense is going back to how they've been. They're playing sound defense. They're playing aggressive defensively. They're getting to the ball. They're stopping and running, eliminating the big plays. So we know that we're going to have our work cut out for us. When you go against the coach, Todd, he's been a great defensive coordinator for a lot of years. So I know he's going to have those guys prepared and ready to go.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
One quick thing. Thank you, Luke Williams, and thanks, Coach Dooley, on the State Fair Classic analogy. That's exactly what I was looking for. Thanks.
Absolutely.
You agree with it.
Any final questions for Coach?
Yes. Raymond Hollywood, HBCU Sports and Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Coach, we know injuries are in the game. Have you heard any updates on the quarterback from HBU that was injured in the game?
I called the coach, and I have a coach on that staff that I'm close with. As of right now, he's responsive. He's up talking. He had an opportunity to talk with his dad and his mom. So he is talking, but he's still in the hospital. So he's in much better shape. Of course, myself and my team, we've been praying for the young man, and I feel real good about it. So it's a good report. I'm a man of faith, and the word said, by his stripes we are healed. So I'm already claiming that the young man is going to be healed and come back to perfect health. But he is responsive and having conversations with his family.
That's great news to hear.
Any final questions for Coach? Coach, as always, thank you for taking some time to join us. We look forward to speaking with you again next week.
Thanks for having me.
We now go to Coach Terry Sims in Bethune-Cookman. I do see Coach Sims on the line. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, as always, thank you for taking some time to join us. If you could please start us out with an opening statement about your team's first game here in the conference against Alabama A&M.
Well, first of all, let me start out by saying it was a wet game. Storm had 3 rain delays, 3 lightning delays, rather. Didn't have the excellent conditions, the perfect conditions, but I thought, our football team came to play in the second half. First half, we didn't play a great brand of football, 100 yards of penalties in the first half. You're not going to beat too many teams like that. So we have to figure out a way to get started faster and finish strong with these football games.
Thank you for those opening comments, Coach. We'll now open it up for questions for Coach Sims. Our first question goes to Dr. Cavell.
Coach, I want to ask a little bit about Kashawn Bird. He had a big game in a lot of ways. I know it didn't bring out in the total outcome that you would like, but tell us a little bit about this 5'8", 107-pound senior out of Palm Coast, Florida.
Well, I mean, he's as advertised. Bird is a guy that runs the ball hard, but if anyone watched the game a week before, he was blocking great against UCF. He's a guy that's going to do whatever it takes to try and help this football team win. So when you see Quayshawn Bird run the ball, when you see him show up, in a football game, you're going to get exactly what everyone says he is. He's a hard-nosed football player. that's going to do everything he has to do to help this football team be successful.
Moving forward, you have a matchup where you hit the road, Montgomery against Alabama State. Tell us a little bit about that matchup and moving forward in terms of your first conference road trip in the SWAC.
Well, I think that not for the young man, but decent news for us. Coach Ely let us know that their linebacker won't be with them. I think his surgery, didn't go as planned, but he was a key part of the football team, key part of a lot of things they were doing. We know that we're going to face a football team that has a lot of talent, offensively and defensively. They're solid on special teams, and we have to go and play. We have to go play a complete football game. We have to cut out the penalties because they're a football team that understands how to win a football game, and they understand how to prepare. And you can see that watching film. They played Miles, they played Auburn. So those are two different level football teams. Now we come in falling right in the middle, but there's nothing to be taken away from this football team. We have to prepare for them just like we prepare for anyone else, and, not going in trying to feel our way around. We have to, hit the field running and, make a complete game out of it for 60 minutes.
Thank you, Coach Simmons. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Okay, we do have a question from an iPhone user. I'm not able to see his name, but we'll open it up for your question, sir. You're on mute.
You're on mute.
You're on mute, sir.
Okay, there you go. Coach, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Larry Steele, WELE here in Daytona Beach. Coach, I saw some good things on kick returns this weekend. I saw the other Jimmy Robinson show up. What are you going to do to enhance him getting the ball more? Because he seemed to move the ball up the field when he got a chance.
Well, I think, any coach would want to put the ball in playmakers' hands. But with the kickoff return, duties right now, Darnell Dees is our guy. He's the guy that scored the touchdown. He's going to be the guy that we're going to put back there. Jimmy will also be on the kickoff return team. He'll have his shots to do that, and he'll get some touches at running back. So we're going to put the ball in our playmakers' hands.
How are we going to correct the penalty situation? I believe we had a chance to win the game if it weren't for the penalties.
I agree. And the first thing we're going to do, some of those guys that have been repeat offenders for the last 2 or 3 games, they won't be with us in Montgomery. We'll correct it that way. If they're not on the field, they can't, have penalties to hurt this football team. So that'll be the first way we do it. We're going to maintain our level of discipline. We're going to make sure that our guys are playing football the right way and playing football the way that we play it.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Mark Gray.
Hey, thanks a lot, Coach. Good to talk to you. I just was wondering, with all the weather delays and the stopping and the starting and all that kind of stuff, I mean, I know you preach, focus and accountability and all that, but what did that do to the rhythm and the flow of your team?
Nothing. We can't use that as an excuse. We're in Florida. That happens at least 3 days a week in practice. So it's not something that we can use as an excuse. We're not going to do that. We just have to figure out a way as a football program to move past those things that we cannot control and continue to play football.
Do you have any other kind of, weather games, if you will, that could compare to what you guys went through?
Well, I'm doing.
Yeah.
I just started.
MEAC SWAC Challenge was canceled here against Alcorn a few years ago. We had 7 lightning delays. We've had a couple against North Carolina Central here where we had 5 rain delays. So there have been a few, and that's why I say we can't use that as an excuse. We just have to find a way.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Melvin Bill.
You're on mute, Mel.
You're on mute, sir. Hey.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Morning, I'm great. And you?
Good, good, good. Coach, tell me a little bit about what you learned of the character of the team after going through the weather delays and a big time opponent like Alabama A&M. What did you learn about the character of this team?
I don't think it was a whole lot for me to learn about the character. I think we woke up in the second half, and that's just it. You know, we did not, especially defensively, play a great football game in the first half, but they only scored 3 points in the second half. You know, I think we woke up defensively and you know, started to play our brand of football and play football our way, and that was, you know, the difference in the two halves for our football team.
Thank you, Coach.
Uh-huh.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Coach, going forward, you go into Alabama State, and then also you play another road game coming up, back-to-back road games. But just talk about going into Montgomery and again, competing and looking for a W.
Well, you know, one good thing about this program, we have always played well on the road, not really had any issues playing on the road. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to going to Montgomery and facing Alabama State. Great football program. I think they have a great coaching staff. You know, they do a great job with their guys. They're prepared. You can see that on film, and they don't do anything to hurt themselves when you watch them on film. And that's that's a true test of a good football team. So we have to go on the road. We have to get there and get settled, and it'll be our first SWAC game on the road, like you said, and we're excited. We're excited to get in and you know, see what this SWAC contest holds for us.
Coach, you continue to lead young men in the game of life as they move forward and earn a degree. Can you talk about coaching a football team during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, I think, you know, doing that, and I had to answer this question a little earlier. We used it, you know, to get some guys ahead. And we had some guys that were able to graduate, and we used that time when we're not playing to have some guys catch up academically, which is, you know, something that we can pull from and put on the positive end of COVID with our football team. And that's something that I think has led to us having a lot of our guys in better position academically right now.
Coach, in closing, whether it's nonstop raindrops or 100 degrees outside, just talk about the thought process of coaching a football team.
Well, I don't think you can really look at any of that and make excuses for it, because the other team is they're playing the same weather. So you have to prepare your football team, not be concerned about things that you can't control, and continue to move forward. I think that's the way that everyone should look at it, but that's definitely the way that we look at it.
Thank you, sir. Good luck.
Thank you.
Last question goes to Stephen Gaither.
Good morning, Coach Sims. How you doing?
Morning.
Good, good. Not to rehash too much, but just talk about, when you talk about Alabama A&M, a lot of people talk about the receivers and the tight ends and all that, but talk about Quarles and how difficult it is to account for him just, in the running game and in the passing game, how much he is a part of their attack.
Who was that?
Quarles, the running back.
Well, I think when you look at him, he's a small back, he's patient, and that's the thing that I think our defense had a little trouble with early on, because we're a fast flow defense. Everyone that has played against us, anyone that's watched our film, we're a fast flow defense, and we were overrunning him a little bit because he is a smaller guy, he is a patient guy. He did a great job, and if you don't account for him in their offense, then you're gonna have a long day. People can talk about the quarterback, the tight end, all of the receivers. He is a key part to their offense. And anyone that watched that game on Thursday could see that. He did a great job for him.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. Good luck.
Thank you.
Sims, as always, we appreciate your time, and we look forward to speaking with you again next week.
Thank you.
We now go to Florida A&M. See, we do have Coach Simmons here on the Zoom. Good morning, Coach.
Hey, good morning, guys. And ladies, if any are on.
Coach, as always, thank you for taking some time to join us. Coach, if you could please start us out with a recap of your team's most recent outing versus South Florida.
Yeah, definitely. obviously the outcome wasn't what we wanted, but I thought the guys competed hard. I thought they played hard. I thought we made some plays on both sides of the ball. I think we had two, not record breaking, but two career highs. Xavier Smith, career high in catches. Marquise Bell, career high in tackles. Obviously SWAC Defense Player of the Week, Reese Senior Bowl, FCS Defense Player of the Week. So, congrats to both of those men for having great games. Played fairly well, and at times just still too many self-inflicted wounds to be the team that we're capable of being, to be able to go into a hostile environment and win those type of games. So the bye week comes at a great time for us, really gives us a chance to get back to some base fundamentals, really gives us a chance to evaluate who we are as a football team, personnel-wise, scheme-wise, top to bottom, and then try to hopefully get some guys back from injury. Unfortunately, we lost Chris Dooley and Ronaldo Flowers possibly for the year, so we'll find out here pretty soon what their prognosis is, but just gives us a chance as a football program to really reevaluate some internal things. So not what we had hoped at this point in the season, but still a lot of football left to be played, and we're still very optimistic about this season.
Appreciate those comments, Coach. We'll now for questions for Coach Simmons. Our first question goes to Melvin Bill.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Melvin.
Coach, talk a little bit about Fadu's injury and the strategic plan to replace him.
Well, obviously you never want to lose one of your best players, which in Fadu's case, the probably best punter in FCS football. So, we're hopeful that it's not season ending, but, whenever there's a knee, it's a good chance that it could be. And so, thankfully we signed Jose Romo Martinez, a graduate transfer. He's done both, during his time in Delaware State. He was their place kicker and punter. So as of right now, he'll assume those two responsibilities. And then we'll look to Leonardo Zuazo, my freshman kicker from Miami to back up place kicking duties. And so, but the initial plan is to go with Jose, and he'll serve dual capacity as the place kicker and the punter.
Coach, this team displayed a lot of fight throughout the fourth quarter. Talk a little bit about the character of this team and what you saw coming out of this game.
Yeah, well, we talk about, fighting all the time. That's one of our F's, one of our philosophies here. And, we're going to compete, and we're going to scratch and claw. We're not playing great football fundamentally, but I can say I'm very, very proud of how these guys play as far as their effort, their intensity. They don't back down from any challenge. And so if we can clean up some little things, and continue to play with the effort that we've displayed over the last 3 games, I still think this can be a very, very dangerous football team, but happy about that part, disheartened about the execution part.
Thanks, Coach.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Good morning, Coach.
Yeah, good morning, James.
When you look at the bye week, talk a little bit about how you can use that to kind of tweak a few things as you go forward.
Yeah, obviously with a bye week, you try to accomplish 4 primary things. The one thing, obviously, like I talked about, is to get healthy and really try to rest some guys who've, gone through training camp, played 3 games, and that are nicked and bruised right now, so we want to rest. Secondly, we played 3 games. We've traveled 2 of the 3 weeks. And so some guys have had to miss classes, so we want to get caught up academically. Third, we want to really take advantage of this time recruiting-wise, get caught up in recruiting. We'll hit the road later on this week and get out and try to see some prospective student athletes. And then the last thing, you want to look at yourself internally and look at the schemes over the first 3 games. What do we like that we're doing? What do we need to tweak that we're doing? And maybe even look at some different personnel and those type things. So those are the 4 primary things that we'll try to accomplish. And then, if I had to pick a 5th, is to try to get some of the younger guys who haven't played much, a lot of good reps during this week of practice.
Coach, the quarterback position for student athletes on any college football team in America is very important. When you look at quarterbacks on the highest of 7 hills, talk about quarterbacks by committee and what you see so far on your team.
Yeah, we've played 2 this season. Junior didn't see any action in Saturday's game, but the first two games they both saw action. So we're just still in the process of trying to really solidify who's the unquestioned guy. And as a staff, we talked about what we can do better to equip both guys. And even if it's Cameron Sapp at some point, to give them an opportunity. You get a little bit spoiled when you have a guy like Ryan Stanley for 3 years, who understood football, who's played a lot of snaps, who can see things happening before the ball is snapped. And then you go to some younger guys who don't have that type of experience. And so I'm having to readjust myself, my train of thought, and really see how I can help those guys on game day. KJ's doing the same thing in the quarterback room. How can he teach them a little bit differently, maybe than he taught Ryan? Slow it down a little bit, maybe make it a little bit more user-friendly so that the emphasis isn't necessarily on their decision-making, but try to make the answers to the test, maybe, basic math as opposed to calculus. So that's part of coaching, is figuring out who the personnel is and how we can help them. And that's what we're in the process of doing this week.
Thank you, sir. Good luck.
Next question goes to Luke Williams.
Good morning, Luke Williams from the Black Collar Sports Page, Coach Simmons. Talk about whether a game like Marquise Bell had this week are the scouts paying attention? Is it something that would bode well for him going forward?
I think the scouts are paying attention to every game Marquise Bell plays. He's our top pro prospect. He's arguably the top pro prospect in Black college football, one of the top in FCS football. And so they've been through, I think 24 to 32 teams have been through, and he's the first one they ask about, and he's the one they ask about the most. And so they definitely are going to take a look at this past game, and the fact that he had 15 tackles probably bodes well for him. He forced a fumble, had a sack. It was all over the field. And, so he's just a special football player. He definitely has an opportunity to play at the next level if he continues to do the right things on and off the field. So, but this game, it really helped him and a lot of other guys as well.
What would you say is his best skill set, being his coach? What do you see as his best skill set?
He really doesn't have a weakness. He's a well-rounded player. He's long, 6'3", he can run. He can hit. He's got phenomenal ball skills. He understands football. He's a special player. I tell the scouts that all the time. He's not a special HBCU or special FCS player. He's a special football player. There's a reason this kid was an Under Armour All-American coming out of high school. He just has it. So we're blessed to have him here. We've been blessed to have him here these past 2 seasons. And, he's one of the best defensive players that I've ever been around at any level. Even during my time at Clemson, I really didn't see many guys that have the total skill set that Marquise Bell has. And so the scouts, they notice it. He's on everyone's radar for a reason.
Sounds like the profile they had on Darius Leonard before he made his trek into the leg. What about I think someone asked a little earlier, how did you grade Rashawn's play at quarterback this week?
He made some plays, made some throws. Again, the biggest thing with Rashawn is just, seeing things. We're a read option offense. And so when we grade the quarterback position, a lot of that grade is based on the post-snap decision. And, obviously we like our completion percentage to be above 65. He was somewhere around 51. And so didn't complete as many balls as we would have liked. But he's still taking some shots, which he shouldn't take. So there's some breakdowns and protections. So we'll clean some of those things up, this week. But, he's not losing the game for us. That's one thing I can say. He's not throwing interceptions. He's not giving it to the other team. And as good as we're playing on defense, I think that'll bode well for us. So he'll continue to get better. The thing to understand about Rashawn is the kid only has about 14 career starts. He only started 1 year of high school football, and he's only started 3 games for Florida A&M in his career. And so he's still a relatively young guy as far as experience goes. He's old as far as his chronological age in the classroom, being in his 4th season, but he hadn't played a lot of football. So the game is still coming to him. And, but he's going to be a much better player as he just continues to see more live reps.
And lastly, Coach, you mentioned about mistakes and hurting yourself. What were the most egregious of those in your game Saturday?
Penalties and drops. We started the game with a drop. We're backed up on a -5. We sprint out and throw a hitch route. Would have easily gotten the first down and got ourselves out of, backed up, and we dropped the ball, right in his hands, and we drop it. We throw a 4th down. fade ball to Xavier, who had a phenomenal game, 15 catches, but he dropped that one, you know. And then whenever we got a good drive going, we just had some untimely penalties with false starts, you know. It's been an Achilles heel for us all season, killing our tempo, you know. So again, we have to address those things this week. And if we can eliminate those, we can move the ball. You know, we moved the ball. We had close to over 400 yards against an FBS defense. I think we're starting to really figure out who we are offensively, identity-wise, but we can't continue to shoot ourselves in the foot.
And when you start talking about false start penalties, everybody complains because they're drive killers. But is it pretty much just a matter of focus, or for linemen? Is that the bottom line, that guys are not focused on the snap count, that kind of thing?
It's a matter of detail, you know, just attention to detail. So whether it's an offensive lineman false starting, or whether it's a receiver, you know, not keying the ball and listening to sound, or whether it's us not lining up properly with enough guys on the ball. You know, those are just detail-oriented things. And for us, we talk about, you know, being a master of the little things in everything that we do. And right now, we're not doing that. And so as a coaching staff, we definitely have to make that a point of emphasis during the bye week.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Yes, sir.
One more quick question. Last question will go to Ryan Kelly.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Hey, Ryan.
Hey, just real quick, second half, reviewing the tape, was there something different that you guys were able to do offensively, or something you were able to execute to find the end zone? Or was it just a thing of continuing to do what you do and finding the end zone eventually?
We made a couple of adjustments with some of the schemes that we put in for the third week, which I don't know if it's just scouting the Rattlers or just kind of by chance. We've seen different defenses than what we scouted. Jackson came out in a completely different defense than what we had scouted on film from them in the spring. Fort Valley came out in a completely different defense than what we had seen from them against Tuskegee. And South Florida changed completely from what they'd shown, you know, in the 4 games that we scouted. And so it took us a little while to really get a good beat on what they were doing. And then by halftime, we kind of figured out what they were trying to do to us, and we were able to come out and make some adjustments. We had plays in both halves that we could have made. You know, we left a lot of plays on the field, a lot of yards were left on the field last Saturday. And when our guys are able to come watch the film, they'll see that, you know. So hopefully once we can show it to them, go out on the field tomorrow and really just emphasize how we can make those plays, whether it's a misread by a running back, miscommunication up front by the offensive line, you know, misread by the quarterback on whether to hand the ball off or throw it on the perimeter, a missed blocking scheme out wide of who to push crack to. Just all those little things that it's costing us. We probably could have had close to 600 yards total offense the other night, but we're just shooting ourselves in the foot. So we'll work hard to get those things corrected. And if we do, I still think we have a chance to match our defense, because our defense is playing at a really high level right now.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Simmons, I know we're a little bit over your time. We appreciate you joining us. We look forward to speaking with you again next week.
All right. Thank you, guys.
We now go to Alabama A&M head coach Connell Maynor. I do see Coach Maynor on the line. Coach, before we do get started, once again just want to thank you so much for being able to work with us and change your allotted time to get some other coaches earlier in the schedule. So we really appreciate your flexibility.
No problem. I'm a team player.
Appreciate that, Coach. We'll open it up with an opening statement. Coach, if you would please start us out. Talk to us about your team's Thursday night victory there over Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah, it was a good win. All wins are good wins. Tough environment. If you never played in Daytona, it's tough to get the W's down there, man. It's tough to go down there and play Terry Sims teams, well coached, play hard, never quit. And it's just hard to get W's out there, man. So we're fortunate and we're happy to come away with the W. We got off to a good start. Put up 28 points the first half and was able to hold them to 13. And so then we tried to go into halftime and wanted to do basically the same thing we did the first half, just continue to play in the way we was playing. But, you know, they got guys on scholarship too, and they made some adjustments. And they came out and played hard, and they didn't quit. And we knew they won. They're a championship quality team and played 2 FBS programs, and it was their first home game, first SWAC game, and playing defending champs. So we knew that we was going to get their best, and they came out and made some plays the second half and made it a football game, had a chance to win it at the end, and we was able to get a stop and prevail with a hard, tough road win, which is hard to do in the SWAC.
Thank you so much for those opening comments. We'll now open it up for questions. Coach Maynor, first question goes to Mark Gray.
Hey, Coach Maynor, thanks a lot for taking the time. I wanted to talk to you about the spring season, if I could, and how it's impacting you right now. Did going through a spring season where there were competitive games make you a better team?
Most definitely, 100%. We got a lot of young guys up front that never played college football before, 3 freshmen, and playing in the spring, playing those 5 games and winning them, getting those guys get some camaraderie with their calls and looking at defenses and live action was huge for our program because we returned wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks. We returned all those guys. So we needed that. We needed that for the guys up front. And so it's unmeasurable what the spring did for those guys and helping us right now in the fall.
And talk about the intangible of, for lack of a better term, bringing that swag, championship swag, knowing that we know how to go through, even though it was a truncated season, we know how to navigate somewhat on what it takes to get to a championship level, because that's something you're so familiar with, and you have to sort of bring them along okay, we met it. Now let's, build upon it and keep it moving.
Yeah, we talked about it the year before. We thought we had a good football team, and we did. We went to Alcorn and lost in the last play of the game at their place, and they represented outside in the SWAC, and so we knew we was that close a year before, and so the spring kind of just solidified that we were that team that could get over the hump and get to the championship game and win it. And so, like you said, they gave those guys, our young guys, and the guys haven't been there before. Now the confidence and that know that we can and are a championship quality team. And so that builds for this year.
And how much better it as a leader now is Akil?
Quill he was a leader last year. He's just a little bit more outspoken now. He's been getting there every year, a little bit more. He wasn't a big rah-rah guy, and he just liked to perform on the field. But we told him as a quarterback, man, it's the leader. Everybody's looking up to you. You got to lead on and off the field by example and with your voice. So he's picked it up. And he's doing a great job of leading this football program.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Wade Nash told me to tell you hi.
All right, tell him I say what's up.
Okay.
Next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Hey, Coach. A lot of the talk about your football team normally revolves around your quarterback and the wide receivers that you have, but your running back Gary, he had a big game on Thursday night, over 100 yards rushing, 27 attempts. Just talk about the element that he adds to your offense combined with the quarterback you have and the wide receivers you have.
Oh yeah, he's the missing piece. He makes us complete on offense. He was the offensive player of the week this week. So congratulations to him and the offensive line for opening up those holes for him. But he's an every down back, man. He can do it first, second, and third down. We don't have to take him out the game. We can throw him the ball out on third down. Or if you have to stay in there and block, he'll kiss a linebacker right in the mouth, man. He's tough. And I think he came out maybe 2 plays Thursday night game. So he's just a tough football player, man. Undersized a little bit, but his heart is probably the biggest on the football team.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Yeah.
Next question goes to Tally Carr.
Hey, Coach Maynor, how are you, man?
Good, Tally. How you doing, man?
Good. Look, I know you grew up in the Carolinas. You coached along the East Coast, but now that you've been in Alabama, you got Tuskegee coming up. Can you tell me a bit about the Alabama culture of football and what that is like?
Oh, they love their football here, man. When I first got here, the last 3 or 4 years, is everybody you see, they got Alabama or Auburn. One of those two is Alabama or Auburn. Tags, paraphernalia, and they're a big football state. They love their football, and now we're able to sprinkle in a little bit of A&M. So you get to see a little bit of A&M now. You see Auburn and you see Alabama, but they love their football, man. It's all about football. And I mean, from the Bear to Nick Saban, you know, to Gus Malzahn, you know, they just love football here, and it's all about football. It's all about one of those two schools, man, all the time, no matter where you go.
And maybe even more specific, just the HBCU culture there in Alabama. You got Tuskegee coming up. You know, Miles and Tuskegee will play Alabama State. You know, they're playing you guys. Just what that environment is like and what you might expect.
Oh, it was a great environment. You know, we played Miles. We had a nice crowd, and it was a big game. Now we got Tuskegee this week in Mobile, and it's a challenge, semi-classic game. And so Coach Slater's, you know, it's Coach Slater, man. He always does a great job. Those guys are never going to quit. They're gonna play you hard. They're gonna be tough. And he's done a great job. Had a tremendous career. I played him when I was at Winston-Salem State, and I had a good football team, and they played us tough then. So we're expecting the same thing this week. Anytime you got a Coach Slater coach team, they're gonna be prepared in all three phases, and it's gonna be a football game because they're not gonna quit. But we look forward to playing these in-state rivalries, playing those guys, and keeping it going because it's great for their university, our university, HBCU, and the state of Alabama.
And just real quick, and I'll go. Do you remember how many times you coached head-to-head against Coach Slater?
I think this is the second time.
All right, good luck. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Question goes to James Hill.
Coach Maynor, how are you, sir?
Doing good, James. How you doing?
Pretty good. Your quarterback, Mr. Glass, prototype 6'5". You know that position very well. Can you just break down the type of player he is? And looks like he will be a guy who can play on Sundays.
Yes, he definitely have an opportunity to play on Sundays. You know, like you said, he's typical prototype NFL quarterback, 6'5", 220 pounds, with a big arm. And he really understands the game. The game is really moving slow for him. Pre-snap, post-snap, he understands what they're trying to do to us, what we're trying to do to them. And that's what makes him who he is. But, you know, his biggest asset is he can get us in and out of plays, man. If we call a bad play, he can check it and get us into a good play. If it's a pass play or a running play, he don't just check the pass plays or just check the running plays. He can check either one. And we don't get caught in that situation too many times, but a couple of times that we do, he always makes a good check and get us out of it. So he's doing a great job with that. Working the pocket, he's doing a good job. He missed a couple of reads so far. He just missed a couple of reads, and he get that cleaned up. We can roll even better than we're doing right now.
Coach, whether it's 100 degrees or 50 degrees or just nonstop rainstorms or showers or what have you, just talk about competing and coaching a team and what it was like the other night.
Well, you know, that's one of the things I talk to my players about all the time, whether it's 100 degrees, 30 degrees, 60 degrees, rain or snow. The team that decides that we're going to go out here and play football, like you did when you was little and it was raining, your mom and dad said you couldn't go outside. You said, no, I want to go outside and play. It didn't matter if it was raining. It didn't matter if it was cold. You wanted to go outside and play. That's the players I want. I want the players that want to go outside and play football, no matter what the conditions are. I ain't worried about the heat. I ain't worried about the cold. I ain't worried about the rain. I want to go tackle somebody. I want to go catch the ball and score. And that's what we did Thursday night.
Thank you, sir. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Goes to Dr. Cavill.
Coach Maynor, you're going to make me want to suit up and play for you as well. You always have me fired up. I appreciate that, Coach.
I will tell the team I'm playing that you want to play. I will tell them.
Don't say that. You're going to give me in trouble. I wanted to turn it on. You know, people really focus on that offense. Well-deserved. It's doing a lot of good things, a lot of talent on the side of the ball. But this defensive unit is stepping up, and I think it's not getting the credit that I believe is due. Some of those turnovers been on the special team sides, but they've been doing some good work, particularly this week and over the season. Trinell Troutman, the junior, 6'1", got his hands on 2 balls, 2 big interceptions, 3 on the season. Talk a little bit about him and the defense overall, if you would. My fault.
I think you're 100% correct, Doc. I think the defense is playing a lot better than what everybody thinks and what everybody says because our offense is so good and we got so many stars on the offensive side of the ball. You kind of downplay the defense a little bit, but I think the defense is playing well. We've been giving up some big plays, so we got to cut out the big plays. But we also been giving up some scores on special teams, and that shows up on the defensive side. They only gave up 3 touchdowns this week, which is 3 too many. But they are playing better, and if all of you guys are doing your job, y'all will know that our last 3 games, we ended the game with interceptions. Championship game, we ended it with interception. First game, we ended with an interception. Last game, we ended with an interception. So when the defense needed to, they're blowing up and they're making stops. And it helped us win a championship and helped us win the first 2 games of the season. So, I take what they're doing right now. As long as they stop them when they have to, that's all that matters.
See, Coach, now you're talking about me. I was going to tell you, don't tell the other ones. I look like a star now. But
I know you do.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome. That's why you the doc.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
And once again, we appreciate your flexibility, sir. Thank you for your time. We look forward to speaking with you again next week.
Thank you. I look for the check in the mail.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
We now go to Arkansas Pine Bluff and head coach Doc Gamble. I do see Coach Gamble here on the Zoom session. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, appreciate your patience. I know we're a little bit behind our schedule here, but Coach, if you could please start us out with an opening statement about your team's most recent game versus Central Arkansas.
It is what it is. Of course, we lost and we were expecting to win. They did a real good job. We fought back. The game, the score doesn't indicate the way the game was played. They scored a little bit late. They started off real fast with us. Against us, we were very flat coming out. They got jumped out on us 21-0. Some of it was because of field position that we gave them. But we fought back, got the game to within 8. It was 31-23 for a long time. Then they're in the late second quarter, going into third quarter, and then late fourth quarter, and then they got 2 scores late. So we found some things out about us, with this team here, because every year is a new team. And this team here, we have some fight, but just fighting just not good enough. We expect to win. So, but they were really good. The quarterback played lights out. He was the difference in the game. He completed, we got to tighten up our pass defense. He completed, he went 15 for 15. The big thing that they did do, they kept us off the field. They kept our offense off the field. We only had three reps in that first quarter. And then total of 6 reps late second quarter. So they slowed the game down and they moved the ball through the air. We were good against the run, but they moved the ball through the air. So some areas we got to tighten up and be better at in the pass game. So, but the guy, he completed, I think 73% of his completions, his percentage wise. And, that's Heisman level, those type of deals playing like that. So, but, when I look at the two telling statistics, because we were kind of even in all areas, but the 2 that stood out, of course, the score and then the time of possession. So they played keep away. They kept our offense on the side of the field, on the sideline, and it was very smart of them. But it was a good game at times, and then late in the game, it got away from us with 2 late scores.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. We'll now have a question. Campbell, our first question goes to
Coach, how you doing this morning?
I'm good. I've been better.
Good. Look, Josh Sanchez was just named Special Teams Player of the Week. Just talk about his ability to flip the field for you.
Coach, I'm sorry. I believe you might be on mute.
Coach, you're on mute.
Have I been on mute the whole time?
No, sir. Just there. Appreciate you.
No, that was just that time. Yeah.
I got you. All right. Well, Josh is he's a player, and Now if he's winning SWAC Player of the Week, then that tells you something. We got to do a better job of moving the ball, keep him on the side. No, he has a big leg. We told him going in, we want him to flip the field, and that's the deal. We want to make sure that they use the big field to move the football, and so he held up his end of the bargain with that.
Understood. Coach, have you been able to see anything from Alcorn State's game against South Alabama? I mean, Alcorn State had a tough week, in a situation that I've never heard another football team go through, but yet, they go out to South Alabama, an FBS team, and give them a game. What concerns you about South Alabama Alcorn State right now?
Good football team, another good football team. The big thing I like when I watch them guys is they're patient on defense. Big thing, they're patient defensive football. And then they got heard Coach McNair call his quarterback a trick man. So they got Felix Harper. So it's another good quarterback we got to go against. They'll be well coached, stout on defense, good in special teams, good on offense. So, we got a short week to prepare. So, we got to show up some things on our end, and then look forward to go playing on Thursday night.
One last question. What do you have to shore up defensively, especially coming off playing a really good offense like Central Arkansas? What things defensively do you have to shore up against a good offense like Alcorn State?
Well, I guess I see Coach McNair on this call here. So him and Coach McNair and I shared the office there for a season before. So I guess I'm gonna give him all the tips. We kind of think alike, but no, we got our pass coverage. You know what I'm saying? It's more so, we just can't have guys have career nights against us. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably the best quarterback we faced. And I know Alabama A&M got a good dude too as well. But we were the guy that we just faced here. We wasn't. We hit him, we turned him over. And he didn't get rattled. And he didn't try to at all. So. We just got to be if they're going to be patient, we got to be patient as well with our pass coverage.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Minutes. I didn't hear who had the next question, and I didn't want to jump turn.
No problem. Your question, Doc.
Is it? All right. Thank you. Coach Gamble, quick, I know we're up against the clock, but as you talked about, I really appreciated the way your team fought back right before the half, put up the points, and then coming out and making some adjustments in the third quarter. You're able to do it defensively and offensively, put up the points. And going into the fourth quarter, 6 minutes left or something, it was an 8-point game and you had the ball. So although things may have not turned out that way, really showed the strength of your teams. Talk about, though, going into this matchup Thursday night, you're back at home, confines of being home. What are your thoughts on moving forward for a game under the lights?
Being able to play, get into division play, in the SWAC play. SWAC play is really fun. It's fun football. And we really enjoy it, and I had to going against UCA, I said, we can't just wait till we play SWAC play to get fired up. So that was kind of my halftime speech to our guys against UCA. So and that kind of changed things a lot for us. But it's one, it's going to be a game that guys look forward to playing, and what really I like about this one is we don't have to wait a long time to play again, especially coming off of a loss, so it's going to be a good challenge. And it's Fred and I've been able to lean on him a little bit on, throughout since being able to get the job, and then throughout the years. And you know how it is when you know somebody from the other team. He won't get a phone call from me this week, and I'm pretty sure I ain't gonna get a text from him this week as well. So, but other than that, it's gonna be a good game, and it's one we're looking forward
to. Talk about Skylar Perry's play. What you expect, the need for him. He's played big in a lot of games, 6'3", 215 pounds, as everybody knows, as a junior, and really showed out in the spring. Coming back and looking forward to get some things done. Divisional game now against Alcorn. Played tough matchups over the years. As you said, this coach, the team. Talk about what is the expectation in this game. Is it the physicality that I think about, or is it something else?
The expectation is to play well, and everything that goes along with playing well, so physicality, the mental approach to it, the execution, everything that goes along with it. You know, you gotta. That's what the expectation is to do it and do it well all the time. You know, so and that's what we got to get to. That's what we got to get to. We played well last week at times, you know, but we got to do it all the time. We played well at times against Lane, but we got to do it all the time, you know. So we can't have you can't go way up and then drop way down, you know. So we got to just get up. When we get up, we got to sustain it for 60 minutes.
Thank you, Coach.
Right.
Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Last question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach Gamble, I hope you and everybody in Pine Bluff are well. Question regarding your football game coming up. It's a quick turnaround. Both of your teams, but you and Alcorn, you guys both played. Everybody played on Saturday, but you have a Thursday game. Can you just talk about the quick turnaround?
It's a new learning. It's a new way to learn how to prepare for us. You know, we're off our normal routine right now, so it's a new way to do it. I think that the loss has gotten everybody attention. I know that. So, but being able to have to come in here on a Sunday, and then now we got to combine days. You know, our Monday. Today is Monday, so that's going to be a Monday Tuesday type of practice, and then Wednesday. So it's just a new way of going about doing it. Going away about our preparation. So, you know, it's we got to scale some things back, but we also got to keep pushing forward at the same time. So now it's really truly, you know, how much is too much and how little is not enough. So, but we'll find out here this week.
Coach, both teams have dynamic quarterbacks, and it should be an action-packed game. What's your thought process as you think about it?
Both teams got, you know, yeah, we both got good quarterbacks, but both teams got good other players as well, other skilled guys and good up front. And, you know, is you know, for them is what makes them really, really good is their defense. You know, their patient defense, and they're gonna get after you and they're gonna hit you. You know, offensively for them as well. You know, they quarterback is really good, and then they got some sure-handed wideouts as well. So it'll be good. And really, to be honest with you, you know, they like to run the rock. You know, and they're gonna see if they can pound it on you, and if they can do that, that's what they're gonna do. So, but you know, we got good players as well, and it'll be a good game on Thursday night.
Thank you, sir. Good luck.
Thank you.
Gamble, as always, we appreciate your time, sir. We look forward to speaking with you again next week.
All right, thank you.
Now to go to Coach Dancy in Mississippi Valley State. I do see that we have Coach on the Zoom. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How you doing?
Great, Coach. Coach, as always, thank you for taking some time to join us. If you would please start us out with an opening statement about your team's most recent outing versus Stephen F. Austin.
Oh, well, like Coach just said, I don't think it's anything great to speak on this game, but I think we went into the game, and I thought defense, we started fast, and then big plays hurt us on defense. I thought we gave up 3 big explosive plays to hurt us. We went into this game wanted to eliminate the rush yards that we gave up the first game, and I thought we did. You know, the first game we gave up 300 yards rushing. This game we turned around and gave up 55 yards rushing. And but the big plays in the air hurt us this game. And offensively, we just turned the ball over, and those turnovers led to touchdown. And I think that played a major factor in the game. Their big plays were big momentum plays, which we could never bounce back from. And so yeah, that to me was the biggest moment of that game. Just the turnovers and the plays that came off the turnovers. So we just got to eliminate those turnovers and stop the big plays defensively. But I think we do have a good football team, and I think those things are going to come. You expect coming off a bye week that we wouldn't be in that position. But I think we got guys that needs to play. I think these are high rep guys. They need to play the game in order for them to be better at the game. So yeah, moving on to Southern, I think we will be a better football team.
Appreciate those comments, Coach. We'll now open it up for questions for Coach Dancy. Our first question goes to Jim Kleinpeter.
Yeah, Coach, I'm assuming you got a chance to look at some tape of Southern. What impresses you about their offense and defense?
They're a physical football team. They want to establish the run up front, depending on which quarterback you see, whether, you know, it's Skelton or whether it's number 12. But they want to establish the run with both, but they want to pass the ball when number 12 gets in the game. So we really got to prepare. What we want to do is stop the run and make them throw the ball. But yeah, they have physical football teams on both sides of the ball, and of course they got an outstanding defensive end that we're going to slow down in the pass rushing game. But I think first and foremost we got to establish physicality. We got to match their physicality, and we got to stop their running game.
Is Connor your quarterback? Is that the guy you're going with this week?
Right now, we're just going to look at a lot of different personnel changes. I think now we got to look in the mirror and face the facts that, hey, man, it may be a personnel issue. First of all, it's got to start with me as a coach. I got to get our guys better prepared week in and week out in different situations, because when you're giving up touchdowns in all three phases of the game, first you got to look yourself in the mirror and see what can I do better and what can I do right. And then we got to look at some personnel changes. But at the end of the day, it starts with me. So, yeah, we're going to look at some different personnel, not only at quarterback, but other positions as well. And, being without 3 or 4 starters on defense, that didn't help us. We had 3 or 4 guys that didn't play, that was hurt or that was out for a reason. So we just got to get those guys back and go into the game mentally prepared and play a good Southern team.
If I can ask one more quick one, you had an open date early in the season. How do you feel about that? Would you rather have played this early in the season?
I think, like I said, I think we got a lot of rep guys. We got a lot of transfers in, guys who need that chemistry and continuity. A lot of different guys, a lot of different bodies. And I think in order for these guys to be successful, they have to play the game, not sit out the game, because we can't mimic the speed of the game in practice. We can't mimic the game in practice. All we can do is work on the situations and work scout team to prepare us against the other team. But actual live reps makes you better. And I think we'll be a much more better football team against Southern. Now, don't get me wrong. I've seen some great moments in this game, some good bright spots for our football team, and we ought to build on those bright spots. But I've seen a lot more bad than I seen good. And those bad plays were just big plays that was given up. Like, you can't expect to win any football game giving up 21 points, and that's not even on defense, not even on the defense. So, like I said, we wanted to go in this game and stop the running. We wanted to hold our opponent to under 100-yard rushing, and with 30 attempts and they only got 55-yard gain, I thought we did a phenomenal job up front and holding those guys to under 100 yards. But in the passing game, we can't give up big explosive plays. Explosive plays and turnovers will kill any team.
Next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Hey, Coach, you talked about setting things up this week in terms of your roster to try to get some improvement. For you as a coach, what elements of the game and on your team do you think need to be addressed the most to get where you want to be?
Like I said, I think it's all 3 phases. I mean, like I said, we didn't execute in all 3 phases, and I think we did that the first week. So that's why I say I got to look myself in the eyes and see what I can do better and what we got to do better as a staff to communicate and to get our point across to the team. But it starts throughout the course of the week. The changes that we're going to make, I think we just keep that in-house and make those changes as the practice go. We'll adjust our rosters as need be, and we'll make those personnel changes that we see that can't get it done, that we thought could get it done throughout the week of camp and throughout the first 2 weeks of the game. Like I said, having an off day so early, a bye week so early, I didn't think that was very, very good for us, because we got guys that needs to play football. They need to play football. They need to be able to run. They need to be able to tackle. They need to be able to catch the ball with live, not practice. Even though practice makes you better, but it's nothing like playing football on Saturday, so you can get the feel and the experience of the game.
And a quick follow-up, what is it going to take, in your estimation, for Mississippi Valley State to be the football program that you hoped it would be when you took over?
It's going to take I don't think we're a bad football team. I just thought we lost 2 football games. It's quite a few of us that lost a few games back to back. But yeah, we just got a lot of areas that we need to clean up. It's on me. That's how we're going to be a better football team. The head coach, I got the buck stops here. I got to be better. That's the role of a leader. It starts with the leader, then it trickles down. But I think we're gonna get there. I'm not no way, no doubt, and that I'm counting this team out. And we played two good opponents, two good FCS opponents. And like I say, it didn't help us by missing a lot of players that we had missed this weekend. So once we get back once we get our guys back, once we work on the things we need to work on, make some personnel changes, make some strategic changes, schematically, man, we'll be a better football team. This team won't quit. I won't quit. That's who I am. That's who this team is. Even though I know what you guys may think of us. I can tell that a lot of times, but we won't quit. We won't stop. I won't stop. So we gonna be better prepared. We're gonna play better, and that's just how it is. We always start out with the top teams in any conference, even though some of these guys have played some FBS teams, and give them credit. They've done a good job. Some teams in our conference have done a great job. Some coaches in this conference do a great job that they don't get credit for playing up against some of these LBS teams. But hey, we just got to roll up our sleeves and keep fighting, keep plugging, figure out who we are, how we can get better, what we need to do to get better, and keep moving on week to week. Like I said, games make us better. Practice makes us better as well. But I think not playing that first week didn't help us at all.
I appreciate it, Coach.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody in the Delta are well these days. This week, yes, sir. This weekend marks a great opportunity for a victory. Southern, they will ride down 82 and turn into the Valley of Scholars. Can you talk about how important fan support and a lot of fans from the Delta and from the Valley family coming back home, so to speak, to Rice-Totten to be on hand to watch a good game will be?
Well, actually, they'll be on 20 to 55. I'm thinking because the game's been moved to Jackson, so we're playing Jackson on Sunday at 2:00 for this classic game. But right now, Southern is not a familiar face for us. We haven't played Southern in 4 years, maybe 5 years. So this will be the first time playing Southern in 5 years. But every game to us is another game. It's a hard game. It's hard to win football games. So we're gonna prepare for them like we would Stephen F. Austin. We don't take anybody for granted. We don't underestimate no team. We understand what teams feel about us, and I'm quite sure. I think I heard Coach Fobbs from Grambling say a lot of teams circle us on the schedule. We understand it. We just got to do better preparing and understanding who we are, what we can do to win games. Like I said, that's not giving up points in three phases of the game and eliminate big plays and not turning the ball over. That put us in that changes that game. Giving up 21 points of turnovers and a special team punt return and 2 for touchdowns and interceptions. We change the whole ball game if we don't do that. So we know what we got to do. We understand what we need to do as a staff, and that better prepares us to put us in position to win games. That's the bottom line. We just got to do better, and I know we can do better. I know we got a better team than what we've shown these last 2 games. I wholeheartedly know that, but I have to be better, and I have to send my message better.
Coach, the opportunity to play in Jackson on a field that you played on, and people from all over the Magnolia State can come in and see Valley play. Talk a little bit about that. And again, going out the old-fashioned way and getting a W.
I think it's going to be it's a home game for us. So we'll have a lot of fans down in Jackson on that Sunday, early game at 2:00. So a lot of our fans can get there. But at the end of the day, it's really not about me where I play. It's about getting these guys ready to play. No matter where we play, whether it was in Itabena or Jackson, we got to get mentally and physically prepared for what we're about to face. And that's a good Southern team that's going to come in, after a loss to McNeese, which they played their tails off against McNeese State and probably should have won that game. But we got to face a good, challenging team that's coming off a loss, who's going to come in and give us all they got. And we just got to put ourselves in position to execute better, continue to pound the rock. I was impressed. I was very satisfied with our running game, with our running back, Caleb Johnson, eclipsing over 100 yards. We just got to do better in our passing game and not turn the ball over. And if we do, not give up touchdowns behind those turnovers.
Thank you, sir. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Coach Dancy, we are over schedule. We do appreciate your time, sir. We look forward to speaking to you again next week.
All right. Thank you.
We now go to Alcorn State. Head coach Fred McNair. I do see Coach on the Zoom. First, before we get started, Coach McNair, we do want to thank you so much for your flexibility on the call today and for allowing us to revise the schedule.
Thanks, Andrew.
Coach, if you could please just kind of start us out with an opening statement about your team's most recent game versus South Alabama.
I mean, I think that these young men we have did an excellent job of playing a hard physical ball game against South Alabama. These kids are they're relentless. They put out effort. They fought to the end. A winnable game, I thought was, and the kids know that game could have been the other way. Like I said, they played their butts off, leading at halftime, 14-7. Come back in the third quarter, we had opportunities there to kind of keep the ball moving on offense, and we kind of sputtered. We get them ball back first coming out of halftime, and they score. Offense, we struggled there for a minute. They get the ball and 21 unanswered points in the third quarter. Came about quickly. Defense kind of settled down. Offense got to moving and had some plays on special teams that kind of went to our favor. We had a punt that got muffed and goes in the end zone. We recovered it. We come back and we have another punt and get muffed. We fall on it and we score on that possession. So, a lot of good things that happened during the course of that game. It could have easily been swung around towards the Alcorn State University Braves way. These kids fought, and my hat's off to these young men, the way they stood up and against adversity, I could say. You kind of say that. These young men are very good at what they do, and this coaching staff, I can't say enough about them in preparing these young men to play during the course of the week. It was outstanding for us to put on a game the way we did. The way the young man's fought is not enough to say the least about the young men in their performance against South Alabama.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach McNair. We'll now open up the floor for questions. Our first question goes to Mark Gray.
Hey, Coach, thanks a lot. I apologize that folks had a little bit of problems with the mute. You kind of answered it. I was wondering if you could expound on it, but you've been through a lot with this group of upperclassmen, and last week presented as challenges. Can you expound on what you learned that you didn't already know about their character and their resilience fighting through the adversity even before getting the kickoff?
Even before the kickoff, I told the young men going back in, the lights was a dysfunction. Before the kickoff, we had about an hour and 15 minutes delay due to the light situation there at South Alabama. And so we had to go back in the dressing room and just to talk to them during the course of that moment. I knew their character. I knew how these guys are responding to things because this coaching staff, the way we coach them, we prepare for just about anything that could happen. Just being the coaches that we are and present things that could happen during the course of a ball game or the course through the week of practice, So the young men, they understand that. They're going to fight. They're going to fight for this coaching staff because we teach them that way. We're the guidance to the young men. We're their leaders, and they respond to great leadership. And I think that's what we give the young men as the coaching staff, the opportunity to be successful. Not only as football players, but in the classroom as well. We got a great group of young men that knows football and rely on the coaching staff to put them in the best position to win ball games.
My last question is, it's a one-score game and you missed 2 days of practice. I mean, to me, that seems like, you're going up a level. That was 2 big days that really could have swung that game. I know you're not looking for excuses and there are no things such as moral victories, but looking at those mitigating factors, if last week was a regular week do you think the outcome may have been different?
I think the biggest thing that, that really hurt us on Monday and Tuesday, we didn't get a chance to condition the young men the way we should have. We didn't get a chance to condition them at all because of the circumstance. But later on in the game, it kind of caught up with us. Some of my guys started cramping up because of that. Physically, the guys fought. Just the part to where the conditioning part that helps us out through the week. The first 2 days of our conditioning is the most important days. We kind of peel back on Wednesday and Thursday in conditioning. So we have to condition these guys on a Wednesday when we got a chance to practice. And now it's kind of a what if you do it, what if you don't situation now. Whether you condition these guys later that week with just 2 days of practice, so they weighed in on us at the end. But I told the guys that they know how I am. We don't make excuses; we find solutions. So these guys went on and fought, man. They played hard for this coaching staff, and they will continue to do that. They're gonna fight to the end.
Just for clarity, you only practicing twice a week now?
No, just that week, last week.
Okay. Thank you. Good luck, Coach.
Next question, Kendrick Marshall.
Hey, Coach. Has the situation with the training and medical staff improved since last week?
Yeah, we have athletic trainer now.
Okay. And what message do you hope the school administration kind of learns about this situation and to prevent it from happening in the future?
Just that this is a very important position to have in your department.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Coach McNair asked you, how is this going to affect the fact that you're playing in a short week now? That you're getting for a conference opponent, Pine Bluff, everything going on? Is that going to affect going ahead, or should you be fine?
The biggest thing, and like I said before, these young men, they're going to play hard regardless of what thrown at them. It don't bother me at all. Practice this morning and got a good work in, and guys understand they got to put a little extra this week, a film study. So as coaching staff, we're gonna do what they have to do to make this thing work, and hopefully something positive come out at the end. So we're gonna continue to work these guys that we usually do.
Coach, now more on the football side of this. You're talking about Arkansas Pine Bluff that played in the spring, had major improvements, and they have done that since 2019 in a lot of ways. You see on that field in terms of some of the players, either offensively or defensively, that learn you about the Golden Lions?
Coach Gamble, he and I know each other, by coaching together, and he's a hard-working coach. I can say that about him, and he's going to make sure that his team is prepared for this conference opening. Got a lot of great players. It's a great football team. Period. Got a great quarterback in Skylar Perry. Does phenomenal stuff. It's going to cause our defense havocs, and we just got to prepare for that. And whatever they do on offense, and just getting a chance to look at them a little bit last night, coming off of a long bus ride. But, the things they can do on offense, we have to prepare for it on our defense. So our defense, they're going to be very solid. Our work is cut out for us in a short week. Didn't have to travel on Wednesday to get to Pine Bluff. So actually we got one more solid day of preparation before we get ready to move to Pine Bluff and play them on Thursday night.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time and your flexibility. We look forward to speaking with you again next week.
I appreciate you, Andrew.
Thank you. I do see Coach on the line. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Doing great, Coach. As always, thank you so much for taking some time to join us. Coach, if you would please start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing versus McNeese State.
Well, we had a good in-state rivalry game against McNeese State. Electric atmosphere over here at the Bluff. But jumped out to a 21-10 halftime lead. Everything was going really, really well. We always emphasize the middle 8. So we had a great stop the last drive before. So they held them out of the end zone, went in with the ball, come out after half with possession and had a turnover. And short field, they got the ball on the 13-yard line and went out and scored and made it a one-possession game. Battle, back and forth. And then had another turnover, a fumble, a lateral. Gave them a short field, held them to a field goal. Still 21-20 ball game. We're up. Still battling back and forth. Good physical ball game. Thought the defense played extremely well early on with holding those guys to their lowest offensive output against most FCS opponents over the last 4 to 5 years at 264 yards of total offense. But we couldn't get anything going in the second half offensively. And then at the end, they kind of scored that last touchdown off of a block punt. So, which made it a 10-point game. We went down, got a field goal, and with 2 timeouts left and 3 minutes left in the ball game, thinking that we can get one stop, we could drive down and score it. But it didn't work out. We ran out of time. But good, hard-fought ball game. There's some things we have to clean up going forward that we will. We're going to work hard this week to get that done. Getting ready to face a very tough Mississippi Valley team that's very fundamentally sound, hard-playing football team and extremely physical with a good running back, Caleb Johnson, preseason All SWAC, and he's rushed for over 100 yards this past week versus Stephen F. Austin. So it's going to be a good challenge for us going forward.
Appreciate those comments, Coach. We'll now open up for questions for Coach Rollins. First question goes to Jim Kleinpeter.
Hi, Coach. Yeah, would you talk about Mississippi Valley is a member of the SWAC, but they've struggled in recent years, and maybe a perception on your team that it's an easy game. What kind of things do you do to remind your team that they can't look at them that way?
Well, Jim, we're 1-2 right now, so we can't look past anyone. So the deal, we only focus on 1 week, 1 week at a time, and we just try to play the best that we can possibly play each week. And it's the first game up, and we want to finish 1-0 every week on our schedule. So this week we have to be 1-0, and Mississippi Valley is up, so we're going to work our tails off to be 1-0 at the end of this week. So it has nothing to do with who we're playing. It's just this is the game, and this is the most important game of the season because this is the next game.
You mentioned Caleb Johnson. What are some of the qualities you see in him on tape that makes him a threat?
I mean, Jim, he's 5'9", 205. He has a thick build, low to the ground. He's very explosive. He can make great cuts inside the hole and outside. He has the ability to take it the distance. So he's a very good running back.
Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach Rollins, Baton Rouge Community Radio here. Coach Frank Wilson looked like that his team expected to win that game Saturday in A.W. Mumford Stadium. Does McNeese have better athletes than Southern University?
No, I mean, if you look at the game, you look at the score, we outgained them in every statistical category. Like I said, the tail of the tape was the turnovers. When you give any team 2 short fields, anybody that's pretty much balanced and equal, they're going to take advantage. So I won't say that they have great athletes or better. I think we just turned the ball over 2 times, and they didn't have any turnovers.
Can you talk about your quarterback play? And you made a quarterback change, and speak to what was the rationale behind that. And then I'll have one other question regarding Jordan Lewis.
Actually, Nathaniel Skelton came out on fire. You know, he had three big plays in the first half, and it was playing extremely well. The reason why he was pulled out was he took a shot on that leg that has been giving him little problems throughout the last 3 weeks. So it was precautionary to make sure that he was well for the rest of the game. So we put him back in the next series after he was evaluated.
And if you could talk about Jordan Lewis and how would you grade him in Saturday's game?
As you know, with the stats that Jordan Lewis has and the accolades that he has coming in each game, he's going to command everyone's attention offensively. So a lot of the protections are turned to him with chip blocks coming to the edge on him. He did a really good job of getting free, freeing himself up for a sack and numerous quarterback pressure. So he had a really good ball game in our eyes.
Thank you, Coach. Go Jags.
Go Jags.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach Rollins, I hope you and everybody at Southern are well these days.
Yes, we are.
Got a question regarding your road game. You'll play Valley in Jackson, Mississippi. Talk about the mentality going in, and it's another opportunity to get a win.
Well, it's another opportunity to compete, and we're always happy for an opportunity to compete, to go up to Jackson to play a tough Valley team. We just want to get back out on the field and get this bad taste out of our mouths. So, and we're going to have to work hard to get that done. It's hard to win football games, especially within conference. So that's the challenge this week, to go up to work hard to win a football game, no matter who we're playing. But that's our goal.
So far at this point, what's it like for you personally to be the head coach at Southern, interim coach or head football coach or whatever you want to call it? But at the end of the day, you're guiding men who are getting an education and playing football.
It's great to have the opportunity to be the head coach of Southern University. This is a great university. If you're anyone that has the opportunity to coach the number 2 all-time winning school in HBCU football with 19 conference championships and 11 national championships, that's an honor. And I'm very honored.
Thank you, sir. Good luck.
Last question goes to Jim Kleinpeter.
Yeah, Coach, would you talk a little bit about Valley's defense and what, how you might, what the best way to attack them is, and what kind of challenge they present?
Valley is very strong up front. That number 33, Jeremiah Kane, 6'2", 295. Number 50, Ronnie Thomas, the defensive line. They're very active and strong up front. Inside they have a linebacker, number 52, Deion Reed. He's extremely active. He plays well with his hands. He makes tackles on both sides of the line of scrimmage. So they're very active and aggressive defense. So it's going to be a challenge. They're hard and tough against the run. And, they're really good against the pass as well. So it's a good football team. Very well coached and fundamentally sound football team that we're going against.
Coach Rollins, as always, we appreciate your time. We look forward to speaking with you again next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. We now go to Texas Southern and head coach Clarence McKinney. I do see Coach McKinney here on the session with us. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How's it going?
Doing great, Coach. Thank you so much for your patience. I know we are behind schedule. Coach, obviously a bye week for your team. If you could just start us out kind of recapping your bye and previewing your upcoming opponent.
Yeah, bye week this week. We spent the earlier part of the week finding shelter from the storm, the tropical storm that hit us. And so we didn't get a chance to practice much early in the week, but later in the week, we got a chance to work on our fundamentals, blocking, tackling, and executing our offense, and really use it to heal the team, just try and get healed up and get ready for this physical fight against our cross the street rivals in Rice University.
Appreciate those comments, Coach McKinney. We'll now open it up for questions. First question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Yes, I want to talk about the matchup against Rice. On film are the things that you believe that you can get done on the offensive side of the ball?
We're planning on getting the ball to our best players. We're trying to create opportunities for those guys to have room to work in space. A guy like a Jonathan Giles, a Keelan Davis, and as well as our running back. So Rice is a physical team, and we think we can use our athleticism and our speed and our quickness to kind of explore some things.
Defensively, what do you look at in terms of the attack, their offensive style play?
You broke up on me, Doc. I couldn't hear you.
Apologize for that. Defensively, what are some things that you think you're able to do against their style of play offensively?
They're a physical team. They like to run the ball. And I think defensively, our goal has to be to make them one-dimensional. So we definitely got to stop the run on early downs, first, second down, and kind of keep them in third and long situations and and force them to do some things that they're not comfortable doing.
No problem. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Question goes to James Hill.
Coach, I hope you and everybody in Houston are well.
Thanks, James.
Yes, sir. Coach, talk a little bit about the Rice game and the opportunity to kind of go out of the HBCU experience and play a team like Rice and, you know, the guaranteed aspect of it and just playing up, so to speak.
Well, we just finished playing up a week or so ago. We played Baylor in the Big 12, so we won't be overwhelmed with the situation that we're about to encounter this weekend. I think it gives our guys an opportunity to showcase their talents versus an opponent that's considered up. But we have a tremendous amount of guys that are talented enough and feel like we can compete at this level. And when you look around the country, you see teams like what Northern Arizona did. You see what Alcorn had an opportunity to do. And there are other teams in the FCS level that are playing, competing, and beating FBS teams. And so we just feel like this gives us an opportunity to one, get better as a team, and two, gives us an opportunity to get a win.
Thank you, sir. Good luck.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Ty Miller.
Hey, Coach. Good morning to you. How are you?
Good. How's it going, Ty?
I'm good, Coach. Taking on Baylor now, getting set to take on Rice. How will this prepare you for the SWAC season that is long and tough as well?
Well, once we get into conference play, we'll definitely be battle tested. You know, we're playing some quality opponents, and we'll take that experience into our SWAC games and be battle tested. Now, once you get into SWAC play, it's going to be a dogfight week in and week out. And so our guys are going into conference play after playing Baylor and Rice and schools of that nature. We'll be battle tested and hopefully prepared for the SWAC season. You're muted.
What did you find out about your team that may help you when you play Baylor, that may help you against Rice?
One, we're a resilient team. Our guys competed from the opening kickoff to the final whistle. We don't give up. We fight to the end. We were overmatched by a man, but our guys continued each snap. You know, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams, we continue to compete. We showed that we're a disciplined team. We really only had 3 penalties. I think I took a delay to give us 4 penalties. We're showing some improvement. We were able to move the ball up and down the field a few times. I had an opportunity to score 3 scoring opportunities in that particular game. So there are some positives that we can pull away from that game and build on.
And finally, Coach, you mentioned competing several times. How eager is your team to compete again on this level?
We're definitely eager to compete. Our guys want to play every week. You know, the bye couldn't have the time for us, though. We did have some guys nicked up. But anytime you get an opportunity to compete, you get an opportunity to go out and get a win.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach McKinney, as always, we appreciate your time, sir. We look forward to speaking with you again next week.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. We now go to Coach Sanders, our last coach here in our media session. Good morning, Coach.
How is everybody doing? How you doing, everybody?
Doing great, Coach. Coach, as always, thank you so much for taking some time out of your schedule to join us. Coach, if you could please start us out with an opening comment about your team's most recent game against Louisiana Monroe.
Louisiana Monroe was a tremendous challenge. Appreciate Coach Terry Bowden, legendary. We had a wonderful talk yesterday of remembrance of his father, who, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I am today. They presented us with some challenges and they were victorious. We're not happy with the outcome by any means, but it was a tremendous game and I'm proud of the way our guys competed.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. We'll now open up for questions for Coach Sanders. Our first question comes from the Yard HBCU Sports.
Yes, good afternoon, Coach Sanders. How are you?
How you doing, sir?
Yes, I know you're not necessarily happy with your outcome this past weekend, but you made a statement during the media day this summer where you said that your team unequivocally improved this past summer coming into the fall. And it surely looks like it on the defensive side of the ball. Can you talk about the evolution of your defense from the spring into the fall?
Well, we just got a lot of guys eligible. I mean, it's a lot of guys that are eligible to play now. They weren't eligible this spring. It's one thing. We still have the same coaches, the same scheme, the same everything, but you got different personnel. Personnel, we could think that we're great coaches all we want to, but the personnel is what wins and loses games. And fortunately enough, the personnel that we've implemented on defense have been doing a phenomenal job. We still came up short.
Thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you, sir.
Next question goes to Mia Berry with ESPN.
Hi, Coach. I hope all is well. Tomorrow marks 1 year since you accepted the Jackson State coaching job. What grade would you give yourself 1 year?
It's a year already?
Yep, 1 year tomorrow.
Dennis, tomorrow is? I give myself a C.
Okay. Follow up. Why do you think you deserve a C? What are some things you're hoping to see the remainder of this season improve?
Well, C have many connotations to it. C is really to see what we're going to do from here on. That's really what C is. Like it was real C. I'm not going to give myself a real C. If I was at school and they asked me what to give myself, I'm going to say, hey, what else I'm going to say? Yeah. No, but I'll say C because you got to see what we're going to do from here on. I think that was a wonderful game that we unfortunately lost. So we're going to see how resilient we are. We're going to see how we bounce back from adversity. I can't wait to see that myself.
Next question goes to Tolly.
Hey, Coach Sanders.
How you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. I don't know a lot about football. I'll just view it as a fan, but I did listen to you on your podcast a couple of weeks ago. And you were talking about the NFL, but you talked about, hey, establishing the run used to be the way. Now you have to pass, and that's the more effective route, passing the ball. When I was watching the game, I kind of felt like, man, maybe if Jackson State could have had a little more success running the ball, maybe it could have opened up some more opportunities.
Yeah. Don't you think
what are your thoughts on that?
We would have ran? Don't you think if we could have ran, we would have ran? You think you in the stand saying, you know what? They should run. And we ain't thought about that. You know, those headsets we were doing the game, we're actually talking to this person, this person, this person. And I'm saying the same thing. We couldn't. Running game was dismal. I mean, what makes me mad, my brother, we have some good backs, man. The linemen got to want it. They got to believe it. They got to feel it. They got to embody it. And guess what we have tomorrow? Inside run. Guess what we have on Wednesday? Inside run. Guess what we have on Thursday and Friday? Inside run. So we going to run this ball. We going to, somewhere or another, we're going to learn to knuckle down and run this football, because if we don't, we put too much pressure on the passing game. We're one-dimensional. So all they got to do is drop back into the zones and stop what we're trying to do. Passing-wise, we put a tremendous lot of pressure on the quarterback. He can handle it, but that's a lot of pressure on him, especially as a freshman.
When you talk about the quarterback, I kind of noticed when he runs, I saw a lot of resemblance of you. He kind of had that kind of.
That's a lie.
Well, here's what I'm going to say, and you can tell me what you think. He's not as fast as you, but he seems to spontaneously kind of just try kind of anything. He did that pitch on one of his scrambles, and he really just seems to try to evade the defenders. It almost looks like a freelance kind of free-flowing kind of backyard flow.
He's trying to make it happen, but he runs nothing like me. That's from the other side of his family. That ain't got nothing to do with me. And that promise you, his running ability has nothing to do with me. We established that early on when he was a kid. I saw that when he first started walking. That ain't me. That ain't me. His legs are too thick up top, and at the bottom they kind of thick as well. You know, mine is like an upside down Pepsi bottle. When you see small calves on a horse or anything, you better bet on him. He ain't built like that. He built totally different. But he's I'm proud of it. You know, I'm proud of what he's accomplishing, what he's trying to do, and how he's seeing the game. Didn't come out like we wanted to, but you got to understand, when we've been critical of a kid who is considered
around center more. Shoot, that we've been really critical. And we've been really critical, and we're really putting a lot of pressure on which he's able to handle.
Appreciate you, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you, my man.
Next question goes to Kendrick.
Yeah, Coach. As mentioned before, it's coming up on the 1-year anniversary of your hiring at JSU. And over the last couple of weeks, you've gotten a lot of national praise for the job you've done in transforming the JSU program. So much so that Reggie Bush Saturday said he would want you to be at USC. So what do you make of the national praise you've gotten from folks about the job you've done at Jackson State?
Well, you got to understand, if I believe the praise, I got to believe the hate too, right? I can't take one without the other one. If I believe that they all clapping, I got to believe when they all booing if it's for a reason. I don't get into that, man. I'm so darn tunnel vision and focused and locked in on what we're trying to accomplish here at Jackson State. That's who I am. That's what I am. That's how I get down. That's how I became successful, being able to lock in and focus on what's at hand. I'm thankful that Reggie mentioned me. I'm thankful that he thought much of our friendship that I could be a candidate or whatever. I'm appreciative of that, but I'm locked in, man. I'm locked in. I'm locked in right where I want to be. I'm elated. I'm coaching my sons. I'm loving this culture. I want to win. Wish we would have won, but I'm locked in. That just drives me more to go get to it. That drives me more.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Next question goes to Rashad Milligan.
Good afternoon, Coach.
Rashad, you know, man, you don't get down like that, man. I don't mean no disrespect to you. I got a lot of love and appreciation, but we've had numerous amount of one-on-ones in my office, man. We haven't been there and done that. I choose to no longer engage in this, man. You know how you guys shot at us, man. You know what you did, so I don't get down with that, man. God bless you, my brother. I appreciate you, but I'm not gonna get engaged in this. I'm not.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Coach Prime, I wanted to ask you a little.
1 second, Doc. Coach Sanders, I think your line might have unintentionally got muted there, sir. We apologize.
I apologize, you guys. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
No problem. Coach Prime, I wanted to ask you a little more about Shador and your evaluation of him. As you said, I know you put a lot on him. He's prepared for this moment for his entire life. Thus far, how is he matriculating? You've seen him continue to grow, it looks like, from our vantage point, but I know you're more critical about that. What is that?
Yeah, he just walked out of my office probably 5 minutes ago, and I'm just challenging him to be more challenging of his teammates. You know, sometimes you got to put the friendship aside and demand commitment to excellence. I know this your boy. Your boy got to run the right route. I know this your dog. Your dog got to block some darn body. You know, I know this your homie, but your homie got to give it his all in practice. Therefore, it shows up in the game. So he's doing that. He's learning to do that and to hold people accountable, including himself. But he's still young. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to make freshman mistakes. But the way he handles adversity, he just flushes it, man. He just hit the level and flushes it down the toilet and move on. I mean, that's the thing that I love about him the most. And he loves and cares about the game. He's committed. I mean, the study that he puts into it is unbelievable. And the way you got to see the way he goes about his practice, and then you'll understand why the results come in the game. But he still has a ways to go. But I'm proud of his progress.
One quick follow-up question in terms of philosophy. You talk about kids that want it. You've been and seen it at the highest level for a period of time. Is that something that people are born with, or is it something that they can at some point turn on and understand about the need to be greatness, the work that goes into it? Can you talk about that for me?
It's a little bit of both, man. You're born with it, but you can acquire it, and it has to be bigger than you. See, when cats play for themselves and the I and the me's and that you'll quit on you, man. Everybody has the ability to quit on themselves. That's why when you jog, if you just jog by yourself, you'll shut that thing down. But if you jog with someone else to hold you accountable, you're more apt to finish. And you got to have something bigger than you as that goal, as that want, as that need, that desire that you want to please and you just want to pursue. And I know he has that. And talking about Shador, he has that. And we have so many guys on the team that have that. I mean, they're playing, some of them are fathers, they have a child, some of them trying to rescue the mama or the grandma out there in the city. Some of them want their degrees and want to do better by their communities. But it's always got to be something that's pulling you and driving you tremendously other than you. That's the thing I'm looking for. What's that thing? What's that item? What's that thing, that person that's driving you to do what you're doing that you want to do? If that explains it a little more.
Certainly, I appreciate that, and I agree with your analysis in terms of the skill set of Shador in terms of running style.
Yeah, get it from his daddy. But you know what I like?
Thank you.
I like that. I don't want no running quarterback. A running quarterback will run you right up out of the game. Y'all remember that.
No
A running
doubt.
quarterback
Thanks.
will run you up out of the game. When you get behind, that running quarterback is not going to be able to run to catch up. You get behind him 14, he can't run to catch up.
Got time for two more questions. Next question goes to James Hill.
Coach Prime, I hope you and everybody at JSU are well. Shiloh, his development, had the opportunity to cover him a few years ago before he went to Carolina. Now he's back with you and JSU. Can you talk about his development defensively, locking guys down and playing the space and just playing quality football?
Well, Shiloh's more of a banger than anything, and he can cover. He got a little corner in him. He has playmaking ability, but the main thing about Shiloh, what he brings to the table at Jackson State, is his energy. Shiloh is like that unsung leader, that guy that don't have the L on his shirt, but he's the leader defensively. The communication, the talk, he's the whole attitude of that defense. If you ask anybody here, that's who gets him going. That's who talks to junk at practice. That's the one I got to stay on to shut him up all the time in practice and make sure he don't cost us 15 yards, because that's who he is. His development is he's starting to understand the nuances of offenses and to understand how to dissect offenses and coordinators and how to keep his guys in order, in alignment and assignment, man. And next thing they got to do is just go hard. And he's doing that pretty well. But I have to stay on him. He's that one child that the parents have to stay on their knees and pray for. He's my one. That's the one.
Thank you, Coach Prime.
Prayed up.
Thank you, Coach Prime. Good luck.
Thank you, my man. Love that truth. Like I told you last week, I love that truth behind you, man.
Yes, sir.
Last question goes to Mark Gray.
Thanks a lot, Coach. As a benchmark for where your program is right now, what'd you learn about the big picture last weekend?
Our guys can't get too far ahead of themselves, man. They start smelling themselves a little bit, and I felt it during the week. I felt it during the week. That's why we try to do certain things to seclude them, and I try to bring them down and give them little stories and give them little inspirational videos that's really capturing the moment of where they are. We played the old video with Denzel when he was the football coach during that moment where they was trying to take the game from him, and they had to bat down, and the coach told them, and don't give them another yard, another inch. And then he told the offensive guy to run it up, run it up. It's like we use all those visuals to inspire and encourage our kids. And these days, you got to use a little bit of everything because it's a different kid out there. But as a benchmark, man, we're trying to play, smart, tough, fast, and disciplined. And right now, I think we're about 3 out of 4. We just got to keep it going and be consistent with it.
Now, they FBS or FCS?
Who?
ULM.
I don't know. I know they beat us. That's what they are.
Now, the reason I was asking is because you made comment last week or so about how you were hoping to get to a point where you see HBCUs not have to take the money games, if you will.
Right.
And oftentimes like I saw with Howard a couple of weeks ago. They took a 62-point beat down, but they made $350,000-$400,000 to go 30 minutes from campus.
Yeah.
So in looking,
Yeah,
kinda,
but then when an athlete does something, everybody call us a sellout, right?
right, yeah,
Right. So
yep.
what was that? What's that called? Like, so I'm gonna mortgage my kids on that beat down. You think nobody's coming out of that game injured? You think nobody's getting hurt? You know, you think nobody's emotionally damaged, scarred? And some people say, well, they're getting on the field with these type of teams and they can show what? Show what? So you merely think a scout is gonna say, yeah, the whole team got beat down, but that one guy, he gave it his all. Come on, man. Ain't nobody talking like that. Like, nobody wants to see that. And it's sad, but I understand financially, but I don't overstand. Right. Not whatsoever.
Because if you beat them, then you don't get the schedule. They don't want to play you again. So it seems like it's a can't-win deal.
Well, the only win that the recipient gets is the money. Yeah. Is that a win? Is that really a win? All money ain't good money, like I said. It's not really a win. We got to really think about those kind of things. I know I'm bringing it to light. Everybody want to say it, but they want to say it because they're scared of job security, but I'm good. You know, I'm good. I'm good. I'm straight. So I'm going to say it. And you don't have no idea how many times my phone rang with other HBCU coaches saying, appreciate you, dog. Sure appreciate you saying that. We can't say it, but I sure appreciate you. So it's a whole lot of issues. Matter of fact, can y'all help me on this? What's the school down the street? Alcorn? Have they have trainers yet?
Yeah. You know, I was going to ask you that because I asked.
But I could get that. I mean, I'm not trying to
you're right.
Nobody, but that's phone calls, man. I mean, I wish we have the relationship that we could call each other, because how many hospitals we have here in this city? I would have did it myself. Sent you several trainers, man, because those kids deserve to get down. They deserve to play. And we can't practice because of trainers. Like, please. And that's my brother McNair, and that's a darn good coach. That's a darn good team, man. My brother McNair, if you can hit me right now, if you have a problem, call me. If I can help, I'm gonna help you immediately. This is bigger than the little rivalry. This is about these kids, man. And I got love for that brother. He's a good dude. When my son was being recruited by Southern Miss, and they played Alcorn, I made it a point to go in his locker room and give him love and shake his hand, because I know what he's been doing for that program. I never even knew him. I didn't know him. But a situation like that, well, you can't practice because of some trainers. Please, now that's a problem up top. That's not him. That's a problem somewhere else there. That's a problem for him. We need to address that. And whoever allowing that to happen need to be checked. You get this man. This man has a wonderful program year after year after year. He wins. And you're going to allow that to happen to him? Please. That's one of our treasures in HBCU. We got to have his back.
Yes, we do. I didn't want to hijack the meeting by getting into all that with you, but
man, you ain't hijacking the meeting. It is what it is. If we ain't gonna be real at 100 on the meeting, why are we having a meeting? I got a whole lot of stuff to do today. So unless we gonna have a relationship and not a dictatorship, we gotta have a relationship, fellas. I need y'all like y'all want me. Y'all voices go a long way. Your pens, your cameras, your videos go a long way. Believe that about y'all, man. But if we could do anything together to provoke change, why are we waiting?
I look forward to talking to you down the line, Coach. I know you got 1,000,001 things, but I'll make it a point to go one-on-one with you real soon. Thank you,
my brother.
No worries.
Thank you.
Coach Sanders, as always, we appreciate your time. We look forward to speaking with you again next week.
Thank you. God bless all y'all.
Thank you. This concludes our media session for Monday, September 20th. Recording of this video will be available at swac.org. We will also email it out as soon as it's done processing on Zoom. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.